Ajw Surfboards.
Hey, what's up, Adam? It's Ryan. How long have you been shaping?
Shaped my first surfboard in '97. I was 13. Kind of a funny story. I had an older brother. I was getting his hand-me-downs, and one year for Christmas, my folks got him a new surfboard, and I got his hand-me-downs. And at the time, I was, just a younger brother, frustrated. I was like, well, I want to get a surfboard. And my old man basically told me, well, learn how to make one.
Where are you from and where's home now?
So I was originally born in Virginia and did my first couple boards there, then moved to Southern North Carolina, and shaped with some guys there for quite a while. So San Diego, California is where I currently reside, and been here about 15 to 20 years.
Who do you have glassing your boards?
Currently, we do everything in-house, have my own glass shop, but worked for quite a long time between Diamond Glassing, which is now not in business anymore, and with good friends with the guys over at Sharp Eye Surfboards. Was with them probably for 15 years or so, and now doing everything in-house.
How do you measure surfboard value?
How often do you want to keep taking a board out to surf? If it works good, it's got good value.
What's the first thing you check when QCing your boards?
I'm always double-checking the edges and weight. Those are my two kind of main QC things.
Do you order custom blanks?
We'll custom order some gun blanks, some gun rockers, and things like that. But when it comes to mostly shortboards, the blank companies offer a pretty good variety nowadays.
What's your PU to EPS build ratio?
I don't know. I'd say probably 90% PU, 10% epoxy.
Who's been giving you feedback on your boards?
Every design I make, I personally ride them. I like to take my own personal feedback. In the last couple of years, we've been working closely with Matt Miola out of Maui, and he's a funny guy because he's really on the echelons of pushing the boundaries of what's possible and kind of different aerial surfing and whatnot, which is not common for your average guy. All of his best friends are pretty gnarly big wave Jaws guys. He's really close friends with Albie Layer, Billy Kimper, and all those guys. And he'll sit in the channel every swell on a jet ski and monitor how those guys are working and whatnot. So he's been helping me do a couple of big wave guns for a couple different, not those guys, but a couple different big wave guys. And it's kind of funny that Matt Miola's actually been giving me a lot of feedback on big wave guns, which a lot of people probably wouldn't realize. And then one old customer, Rob Brown, or old team rider Rob Brown, he's always been pretty intent with it.
How close do you keep your eye on surf contests?
I like watching contests, especially if it's some guys we're working with or if we have some boards that were, for a certain location. Yeah, we try to watch all the heats that the guys are riding the boards. If there's good waves, I'll usually pop it on if I got time and watch, especially if, the couple locations that are pumping waves. If the surf doesn't look good, then it gets kind of boring pretty quickly and I won't watch it then.
Custom board versus stock board off the rack.
Custom boards are awesome if you have very specifics, and there's a lot of customers out there that, they really have a certain, maybe a guy likes a really meaty middle and then he wants super pinched or thin tails, or vice versa. And sometimes customers really are particular about, certain things that they like or dislike. So I think for most guys, I think a custom's always usually a win. However, if you're in a shop and you feel a stock board in the racks, if it feels balanced, it feels good under your arm, usually it'll work pretty good for yourself. Now, some guys don't know that and don't try enough boards or ride enough boards, so they, in that scenario, it may be better to talk to a shaper directly and customize it. But, over the years, I've made a lot of boards for myself, and sometimes I grab a board out of our own racks, like, oh man, this thing looks good, take it and love it.
What's your custom to stock build ratio?
Maybe a little bit more custom right now at the moment. Yeah, probably somewhere in that close to 50-50.
Do you have any surf shop employees that you would want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, actually, it's funny. I probably talk every couple of days with a shop owner in North Carolina, Spinnaker Surf Shop. Steve Covington's a longtime good friend, and he always surfs pretty regular, and he'll call me just to tell me how the waves are. And we've been selling more boards with the Real Water Sports, the owner, Trip Foreman. He's a cool guy. Call him quite a bit. Every time the waves are good, he'll give a surf report. And any employees or shop owners who surf a bunch, that's the guys I like talking to.
What do you think about board reviews on the internet?
Kind of depends on, is the guy reviewing a board a similar build to you, and then how good of a surfer are they? If they're a really good surfer, then they should be able to give a better explanation. But people like to relate to different things, and it's one way to find out information about if you're looking to order a custom or if you're looking to shop for a certain style of board. Or obviously, the more information you can find out, you can be the judge of whether you like it or dislike it, and take everything with a grain of salt, I should say.
What's something most people don't know about AJW Surfboards?
A lot of people don't realize we license to a couple different board builders around the world. And one thing I kind of pride myself in was I used to travel a lot. I got a buddy pass years back and was able to just travel as much as I possibly could and shaped boards in a lot of different countries and whatnot. And I've always been a fan of domestic manufacturing, which doesn't necessarily mean made in USA or made in Australia or whatever the case is. It means manufacturing with board builders in that country. So we do license our brand in job site surfboards in Portugal. I got a guy in Japan doing some boards with 4-star distribution. And recently there's the guy Vaughn in West Australia who's doing a couple boards, and got a guy in South America as well. So yeah, I'm a big fan of working with different shapers and different factories.
Who's your stab in the darker shaper?
One guy that I'd always intrigued, I've known for quite a while now. I'm not super close friends with, but definitely would consider him a friend, is Xanadu. I know recently they're doing a stab with Chloe and Dino, and he was the first guy to throw out his boards. And I was kind of thinking, man, that's a tough one, because you can't judge a book by its cover. You got to go surf it. And yeah, Xanadu's a guy I'm a big fan of. He knows how to build a magic surfboard, and they don't look exactly the same as everybody else's.
Xanadu, I think, has been brought up 3 times, 3 of the other profiles.
Well, you look at these guys, the different people, and there's the guys who operate good businesses, and then there's the guys that are just craftsmen, and then there's the guys that are diehard surfers, and, some of these guys are kind of like, you could call them maybe shaper. Another guy I've always been a big fan of, which I actually don't know at all, is Takoro. He's one of those staple guys who just builds beautiful surfboards, and it's cool when different shapers can do different little lines and different crafts.
What's the craziest custom board order?
Here's a funny one is I had a good friend, Sean Pointer. He used to ride for Volcom. I met him in Hawaii years ago when we were Groms. He was surfing Pipeline, a couple different places. I haven't seen him. We've kind of split ways. I didn't see him for about 10 years. And then we run into each other, and he says he's a professional stand-up paddleboarder. There's the SUP World Tour. I know Kai Lenny was doing it. A couple different guys were doing it. And he asked me to shape him some boards. And I said, no, I'm really not into it at all. And we're hanging out over a couple beers, and we ended up checking out. He was like, can you at least look at my boards? Tell me what I can do to improve them. And I don't know anything about performance stand-up paddle boards, And he ended up finally talking me into it. And I was like, look, man, as a friend, I'd love to help you out, but I really don't want to get open this can of worms and start building a bunch of stand-up paddle boards for anybody. So we quietly built him like 4 or 5 boards over like a year. And we didn't put my name on it. We built it for whatever sponsor he had at the time. And he ended up winning the world title on it. So I got a world title under my belt for this Sean Pointer.
That's an incredible story. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if that's something I never really told many people, but I guess people will hear it here on this.
That's unreal.
And the best part was we actually ended up selling I got contacted later on and actually got paid a little bit of money for the design. One of the companies ended up reaching out to us and quietly, we won't say any names, but we got paid for it, so that was cool.
Do you have anything new in the works?
Working on about to launch with Dark Arts, the carbon fiber vacuum boards. Been buddies with Justin Turns for quite a few years now. We've actually built quite a few kind of quietly in the past. And stoked to working closer with him. And we'll be distributing our line coming up here soon.
Adam, one thing I like to do here is end with some word association. I'll say a word or phrase, and then you just say the first word or phrase that comes to mind.
Okay.
Iron Maiden.
Love it.
Matt Miola.
Hunter.
Brendan Buckley.
Buck naked.
North Carolina.
Good people. Salt of the earth.
Marketing.
More about business.
East Coast.
Family.
Adam, thanks so much for your time. What's the best way to get someone an AJW surfboard?
You can order direct through our website, ajwsurfboards.com, or any of our dealers that carry our boards. Go to them first, too, and you can order a custom directly through any of our shops.
Thanks so much, man.
All right, Ryan. Take care.